Hello, today we are doing repurposed recycled art. So I went to It's Not Garbage in Camden Park and rummaged through all the stuff that Anne's got there. It's pretty amazing. And this little piece of metal made me think of a fence. And then a house. And I needed a board to put my art on, so I found this Picasso board and I felt it was appropriate to put it on the Picasso board. And some straws, I was thinking maybe trees, maybe poles, not really sure. I found this bag of handmade papers, which is really great with colours and textures, and also a bag of leather, some materials for the same thing. Australiana theme was growing in my mind, some hessian. These little sample cards had a wood texture on them, so I thought they'd be good for the house, for boards. And these little paint sample cards, there's a whole selection of colours, so I thought I'd get a whole heap of reds for tiles on the roof. The lays were sort of colours for different things. These little wooden toggles, accessories, made me think of a windmill, and bags of little plastic food items, hamburger, and yeah, some more materials with different colors and things. I also thought they'd be good for origami, and of course tissue paper. Repurposed art, it really depends on what you've got, and you've got to let your ideas grow. So I put white piece of paper on my board and sketched the house that I wanted, put the items I knew were definitely going to be the fence and the windmill on the board, and then working out windows and doors. After I'd finished my sketch, I traced it onto some tracing paper to use later on. Then I started gluing the tissue paper down in different orders with the different colours of yellow, purple, pink and white. In the bag of handmade papers, there was some yellow, amazingly it was yellow, paper that didn't really work, so I used that for clouds and added the windmill, using straws for the posts and trimming them back to sit behind the house. For the grass that was going underneath the fence, I used lays and some green materials, and I added our little picnic blanket, which was just a bit of material, and trimming the space for the post. For the footpath, I used 2 different colours of handmade paper and I made the bricks look like stairs. Here's where I used the tracing of the house to help with positioning. I glued down the material for curtains and the leather front door. For this section of the house, I cut little wood panels from the samples and layered them up the house around the window. Because the material I was using for bricks and the roof weren't as thick as the samples, I used them to level the house across the 2 sections and add the front porch and the first layer of post. I then added a little bluestone bricks up this section of the house. Tiling the roof, I used the paint samples with 3 colours and used perspective lines to create that triangular shape of the roof, and randomly chose the tile pieces. I added siding on both of the roofs. For the tree trunks, I used the hessian. I pulled it apart and made the tree trunks and the branches. My mum got a present as well, which happened to be wrapped in this dark green fibrous material. So I used that to add more texture to the grass and along the horizon line, which brings us back to the little bit of metal that inspired me to think of a fence. So here's the fence. In the box there was also the little grey ones for the posts, which I added an extra layer of sample to make the post a bit higher. In the box there was also the little metal circles that I've used on top of the posts and on the windmill. I used the green fibrous material along with some handmade paper for the leaves, and I rummaged through some of my beads and things and found a little door handle and a bead and a heart shape for a door knocker. I cut the soft drink and the fries and hamburger to fit in the perspective plane as best as possible and created a frame from 2 frames I had in my office that were damaged slightly to finish out our repurposed art.